Hello students, in this video I just want to get us started on our quest in biology by thinking about what common ancestor theory means and how cell design informs this. So one of the strongest pieces of evidence to suggest that all organisms are descended from a common ancestor is the design of the cell. So here we're looking at a plant cell, for example, and we'll see all of these labels and shapes inside of the cell are common to all plants. They are also common to all animals. There are a few organelles in plants that are not found in animals, and there are simpler cells that don't have all of these organelles. But all organisms are made of cells, and that is the point we're trying to make in this quick video. So here's a picture of an animal cell. The first thing you might notice is that it's not rigid on the edges like the plant cell is. It has a membrane but no cell wall. There's also no chloroplast, for example, in animal cells. Let's look in a very simple prokaryotic cell. Here we see that there's still DNA, but there's no nucleus. There are still ribosomes, there's cytoplasm, a plasma membrane. These things are all common to the animal cell and the plant cell. So when we think about common ancestor theory, this is the first kind of cell. And furthermore, this is thought to have developed from one organism engulfing another. To develop the great complexity of organelles within a cell. So I just wanted to show you all of the various organisms that are on planet Earth, and I want you to really think about, what does this mean? All organisms are made of cells. Does this help you to understand the common ancestor theory? If common ancestor theory did not exist, how would it be that all organisms would have similar design? So first we're looking at algae. Algae are photosynthetic organisms, single-celled. Here we see an aggregate of several of them. And this is an electron microscopic image. Here we have a microscopic mite, so looking quite like a large animal in this image, but again, this is a microscopic image. Here we have some fungus. So interestingly, the fungi are heterotrophic. They are not photosynthetic. This one is green, indicating bioluminescence, not photosynthetic properties. So this is a night image. Here we're looking at aspen, Populus deltoides, thought to be the largest organism on the planet. Notice how all of these trees look very similar. Well, that's because they share a common root system. Another organism that potentially is larger, these things are very hard to measure, would be a fungus of sorts. Here is a golden toad, an extinct species. So over the course of the semester, we'll talk about extinction and habitat pressures that lead to the extinction of organisms of all kinds. Here we're looking at two species in Anomalia, the Panthera, the African lion, and the Syncerus, the Cape buffalo. Here we have aves, a peacock, Pavo cristatus. Again, all made of cells. Now in the ocean, we have common clownfish living among sea anemones. Interestingly, anemones are predatory, but the clownfish are not affected by the poisonous sting of the anemones, so they live in symbiosis. Here we have the first state reptile, Oklahoma's common collared lizard, Crotophytus. And here we're looking at, there are other pieces of evidence for common ancestor theory. For example, comparative anatomy. These are all animals, humans, dogs, birds, whales, but if you look at the skeletal system, you can see that the same bones are represented in all animals. They just have a slightly different morphology that gives rise to how this organism is able to survive on planet Earth. So obviously a whale lives in the ocean and uses its phalanges for swimming, and a bird uses its limbs for flying. A dog is a quadrupedal organism using all four limbs to move around, and here's a human arm, and humans walk on 2 feet and use their arms as tools. Now, in summary, when we're thinking about all of this, you'll see lots of images of what is called a tree of life or a phylogeny. Or what we really want to appreciate here is, what is this? I mean, it looks like some funny drawing, but we have to understand the real implication here. This line right here in the middle is the common ancestor. And all of these lines are all of the diverse organisms that have evolved throughout the Earth's time. I hope this helps you to understand common ancestor theory and to appreciate how all organisms are composed of cells, and that all cells are composed of organelles that are common. Thanks.